Hello everyone and welcome back to the sessions on strategic financial management. Friends, in this class of CA Final SFM, we are continuing with the topic bond valuation. This is the fourth part of bond valuation. Within this class, we are going to talk about concepts of bond portfolio. So please write this heading bond portfolio in your notebooks. Now friends, we have back-to-back discussion on bond portfolio and immunization of bonds, connecting concepts, so please carefully observe the whole matter. So basically we know what is a portfolio. A portfolio is a cluster of interrelated investments. So when an investor has invested into a single security, that is a scenario. Another scenario could be the investor has diversified his or her money into multiple securities, forming a group of investments typically called as an investment portfolio. So if that portfolio comprises of bond and similar securities, we call that portfolio as a bond portfolio. So what is something special about bond portfolio? We are going to learn concept of immunization immediately after this concept of bond portfolio, and we are learning bond portfolio for one typical reason, that immunization of bond cannot be achieved by investing into single bonds. Investment into multiple bonds forming a bond portfolio is a prerequisite for immunization of bond. So what is immunization of bond? If you don't know, don't worry about it. I'll be coming to that in a while. Right now just focus on one thing, that we are talking about bond portfolio. If you can recall, in the earlier sessions we have learnt concepts of duration of bond, Macaulay's duration, correct? We are going to apply that concept on bond portfolio and we will determine duration of the bond portfolio. However, bond portfolio duration can be determined simply by taking the weighted average of duration of each of the bonds. Suppose you have included 3 bonds A, B and C in a portfolio, then you will identify the duration of the entire portfolio by taking duration of individual bonds A, B and C and then taking the weighted average of the 3. The question is, what would be the weights applied over here? The weights applied over here will be the proportion of money invested in each bond. So for example, I have rupees 5 lakhs to invest. I have invested 2 lakhs on bond A, 2 lakhs on bond B and 1 lakh on bond C. So the investment ratio in these 3 bonds is 2:2:1. So the proportion of money invested is 2/5, 2/5 and 1/5. This proportion of money invested in each bond becomes the weight, and using these weights, when you determine the weighted average of the duration of each bond, I mean you consider the duration of each bond and determine the weighted average of these durations, what you get as a result is the duration of the portfolio. Let me summarize this point very well. If it is a case of determining duration of a bond portfolio, duration of bond portfolio will be basically the duration or the weighted average duration of each individual bond included in the portfolio, and I told you the weights will be the proportion of money invested. If I consider a portfolio created just out of 2 bonds A and B, I would first determine the duration of each individual bond and identify those durations as DA and DB, one thing. Then I would identify the weights. For that, what I have to do is weight of bond A and weight of bond B will be nothing but the proportion of money invested in each bond. So for this purpose, the value of the portfolio is important. Whatever money I have invested in bond A, I would call that as VA, that is value of bond A. Whatever money I have invested in bond B, I would call that as VB, that is value of bond B. So VP, that is value of the portfolio, will be VA plus VB. So VA plus VB would give you VP. So if you could see what will be weight of bond A and weight of bond B, it will be VA upon VP as weight of bond A, VB upon VP as weight of bond B. Once you get the weights, once you get the individual duration of the bonds, you are ready to compute the weighted average. Friends, what we will do is we will write some notes on this and then we will take up a calculative example. While we are within that calculative example, I am going to bring something extremely important into your notice, which if you really pay attention, you are going to just have fun with that calculation. That is my promise. So let us do one thing. Let us first of all determine the duration of portfolio through an equation theoretically, and I am going to show that over here on the screen. So please pay attention and note down everything important. One more instruction before we move ahead. We will not be arranging too much of writing time for this whole video. So what I will do is, if I am instructing you to take note of something or to write down a solution or to write down a certain calculation or some theory, you should simply pause the video, note it down and then again resume the video. This is how we are going to go ahead. So I will just give you instructions to note down and you are going to pause the video, note down and then resume the video again. So let us move ahead. First, some theory about bond portfolio and followed by calculative examples. Beginning with the concept that duration of bond portfolio comprising of two bonds A and B will be DP equals to DA into WA plus DB into WB. So let me first explain this to you. DP indicates duration of bond portfolio, DA is the duration of bond A, DB is the duration of bond B. WA is the proportion of money invested in bond A or proportion of bond A value in terms of the total portfolio, and WB is the proportion of value of bond B in terms of the total portfolio. So I have just explained you one thing, how to find WA and WB. If we can take the value of bond A divided by the value of entire portfolio, we get WA. So let us substitute WA and WB for their values. So it will be DA into VA upon VP. This is the proportion of money invested in bond A, and likewise VB upon VP is the proportion of money invested in bond B. So this will represent WB, this will represent WA. This equation is just the secondary version of this primary equation. Now DA is the duration of bond A, DB is the duration of bond B, VA is the amount invested in bond A, VB is the amount invested in bond B, and VP is the overall money invested in the entire portfolio, which represents the value of the portfolio, which is aggregate of VA and VB. So friends, do one thing, note down this whole thing and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, you would have written this whole thing. Let us move ahead and understand the application of this whole thing through question number 22. Let us read this question. Consider the information given below about the two bonds A and B, and you have been given face value of the two bonds, coupon rate of each of the two bonds, remaining maturity, redemption price, and then they say the investor desires a rate of return of 10% per annum. Assume that investor holds one of each bond. You are required to determine intrinsic value of the two bonds, duration of each of the two bonds, intrinsic value of the portfolio, and duration of the bond portfolio. Now if we look into the requirements of the question, 4 requirements given over here. 1 and 2 are based on some calculations of bonds on individual basis, which you have learnt already very well in the past. Only this 3rd and 4th calculation is new for you. So I don't have to explain how to calculate intrinsic value and duration of an individual bond. You know it already. So let us just present that part of the solution first, and then we apply the concept of bond portfolio. Let us see how to present the solution. We first determine the intrinsic value of the two bonds starting from bond A. But one very important thing, because you want to determine the duration of bonds also, you know one thing, that you need summation of n into PV. That is, summation of n into PV for each year, n into PV will be determined, and then you will be taking the summation, and that is why each calculation individually has to be written in each line. So year 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, bond A has a life of 4 years only, and we have written this fourth year once again, you know why, for the redemption value. The cash flows of each of the 4 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, will be the coupon payments of rupees 90, and this will be the redemption value. PV factors at 10%, and finally PV of cash flows. And once you get PV of cash flows, you will multiply these present values by the respective number of years. That is why we will take n into PV, and we get these values over here. So finally what you get, 1036.59 is the intrinsic value of bond A, and this total will be helpful for determining the bond duration. So intrinsic value of bond A is 1036.59. Exactly in the same way you can determine the value of bond B also. But first what you do is write down all these calculations quickly. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and do the similar calculation for bond B. So bond B, same format. Now the number of years of life of bond B is little longer, right? So 6 years life. So cash flows as coupon payment and redemption price plotted for 6 years, and PV factors at 10% discounting rate. PV of cash flows you can obtain by multiplying the PV factors to the respective cash flows. And finally, for computing duration of the bond, you will take n into PV for each line, that is for each year. And finally you get the total of bond value as 1054.06, and summation of n into PV comes to 5356.95. This is going to become the basis for computing the duration. So finally what we can get is intrinsic value of this bond is 1054.06. So please take note of this whole thing before I take you further. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this as well. Let us move ahead and take up the next calculation, that is duration of the two bonds. Macaulay's duration can be determined by taking summation of n into PV divided by intrinsic value. You know it very well. So for bond A, it will be 3684.52 divided by 1036.59, and that comes to 3.554 years. And for bond B, it will be 5356.95 divided by 1054.06, that gives you 5.082 years. Before I take you any further, calculate these and note it down. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us now move ahead and calculate the next two things, that is the value of the bond portfolio as well as the duration of the bond portfolio. So I have already explained you the equation for duration of bond portfolio. The same equation we would write up, but for computing this equation we will have to first define all these variables. Let us first understand the variables. DP stands for the duration of the bond portfolio. VP is the value of bond portfolio. VA is the total value of bond A. VB is total value of bond B. DA and DB are the duration of the two individual bonds, and this proportion VA upon VP will indicate the weight of bond A, and VB upon VP will indicate the weight of bond B. So let us define these variables. DP is the duration of bond portfolio. DA is duration of bond A. DB is duration of bond B. VA is number of bond A units multiplied by intrinsic value of each bond, which will be same what we got, 1036.59, and VA is the same value because you just hold 1 unit of this bond. Similarly, VB comes to 1054.06, and VP is the value of bond portfolio, which will be VA plus VB, which comes to 2090.65. So once we define all these variables, in the next step we shall substitute these values and find duration of the portfolio. But before we do that, please write up this whole thing properly. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Now let us put up these values and find the duration of portfolio. Very simple calculation once you know the base values. So when you apply these calculations, what you get is 4.324 years. Note down this quickly and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Now time for us to discuss something very important. We have just computed the duration of the portfolio as the weighted average of duration of these two bonds A and B. So your question as such is solved, but I am going to give you yet another approach of determining this calculation, which would have no application of any weighted average. It will be directly the computation of duration of the portfolio. And how we will do that? We would just directly consider as if the whole portfolio indicates a single security, as if it is just a single bond. So friends, what we will do is, if we combine all the cash flows of bond A and bond B over the next 6 years, what you will get is, you will get cash flows of the coupon payments for the initial 4 years. Then one of the bond will be matured for redemption, you will get the redeemable value. Next year onward you will get the coupon payment only of the other bond, and at the end of the life of that other bond you will also get its redeemable value. Once you have clubbed these cash flows, you will just convert these cash flows into their present value to arrive at the overall value of the portfolio. What you will directly get is the intrinsic value of the portfolio, which we have just identified in this question as VP. One thing. Secondly, then on that base calculation, if you apply Macaulay's duration formula, that is summation of n into PV divided by the intrinsic value, you will directly get the same duration what is displayed over here on screen as 4.324 years. So friends, let me take you to those calculations, and in examination, if the question is asking you to determine the duration of the portfolio, and if you are given the duration of the two individual bonds, it is better to take the weighted average. However, if you are going to make the calculation from the scratch, it is better to make the calculation which I am going to show now over here. So carefully note down the upcoming part of this solution. Once again, I would say that by this much working done, your solution is as such complete. I am just giving you an alternative approach for computing the duration of the bond portfolio directly. So please pay attention over here and I show you how to do that. So as I have discussed, we are now treating the bond portfolio as if it is a singular investment. So what we will do is, we will plot all the cash flows for 6 years. Let me explain you how. The cash flows for the first 3 years will be simply the coupon payments of bond A and bond B taken together, correct? Now at the 4th year you still take coupon payments of both the bonds, but along with that you will get the redemption value of bond A. Because bond A got redeemed at 4th year, during the 5th year you get only the coupon payment of bond B, and at the 6th year you get the coupon payment and redemption value of bond B. So now we have individual cash flows over 6 years and their respective PV factors. You may multiply the PV factors to the respective cash flows, and what you get is the present value of these cash flows. Then at the end, multiplying n into PV, you get the last column filled up. When you take the total of present values, you get the value of the portfolio, that is 2090.65, and when you get this total, it is summation of n into PV for the entire portfolio. So the intrinsic value of the bond portfolio can be declared as 2090.65. Before I show you the calculation of duration, first take note of this whole thing and then we move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and now compute the duration of portfolio by simply applying Macaulay's duration formula, that is summation of n into PV of the entire portfolio divided by intrinsic value of the entire portfolio. What you get is 9041.44 divided by 2090.65, and what you get is 4.324 years. This is the same thing what you got as finding weighted average of duration of individual bonds. So friends, take note of these calculations also, and that will be end of the solution. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and take up another question. Question number 23, a question on bond portfolio. So what does it say? The investor holds the following bonds A and B, and face value of both the bonds given as 1000 each. Coupon rate for bond A is 8% and B is 10%. Remaining maturity for both the bond is 5 years. And now redemption price of bond A 1100, for bond B it is 1050. The desirable rate of return by the investor is 12% per annum, and the investor holds 5 units of bond A and 12 units of bond B. You are required to determine the intrinsic value of the two bonds and determine the duration of the two bonds, and then they also ask you to find duration of the bond portfolio. So this will be again a straight usual question, no complications at all the required information straight away given. So you should just know how to make the calculation of duration of an individual bond, and you should also know that the duration of bond portfolio is the weighted average of the duration of the two bonds, and the weights over there will be proportion of money invested. And keep into your mind one thing, that this time it is not a single unit of the two bonds that the investor is holding. The kind of question what we have seen in question 22, correct? The scenario what we have seen in question 22, this is not like that. You are holding 5 units of bond A and 12 units of bond B. Consider this while determining the weights of the two bonds, otherwise you will commit error. So now let us see how to present the solution. First of all, we will determine the intrinsic value and the duration of both the bonds. So for bond A, because you want to make the calculation of intrinsic value as well as the duration, you cannot write up the annuity factor for year 1 to 5. Individual each cash flows will have to be identified. Why? Because at the end you want this column, right? N into PV. If you want to calculate sensitivity, volatility or duration of the bond, this calculation what you have seen earlier is a mandatory calculation. You have to make N into PV calculation. That is why each year will be multiplied to its respective present value of future cash flow to arrive at this calculation. So let us plot the cash flows. Each year cash flow will be rupees 80 towards coupon payment and 1100 will be the redemption price. These are PV factors at 12%. 12% is the expected rate of return by the investor. When you multiply these cash flows to their respective PV factors, you get the present value of cash flows, and we are calling these values as PV, and number of years we have identified as N. So respective number of year multiplied to respective present value will give you N into PV. That N into PV, once you calculate, it will be the base for determining the duration. So summation of last two columns, summation of this will directly give you the intrinsic value, that is 912.52, and summation of this later on we will use for determining the duration of the bond. So do one thing, write up all these calculations and then we move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing these calculations. Let us move ahead and make up the similar calculation for bond B. So for bond B, same type of calculations. 5 years of remaining maturity. The cash flows over the 5 years will be rupees 100 towards the coupon payment and 1050 towards the redemption price. PV factors will again be determined using 12% discounting rate, and when you multiply the cash flows with the respective PV factors, you will be getting the PV of cash flows, the present value of cash flows. Aggregate of that will give you the intrinsic value, and for computing the duration you will multiply n into PV, and n into PV we have placed in the last column. The aggregate value, that is 956.25, will now indicate the intrinsic value of bond B, and this total will help you to determine the duration of bond B. So now first thing concluded that intrinsic value of bond B will be rupees 956.25. So friends, note down all these calculations and then we move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing all these calculations. Let us move ahead and make up the calculation of duration of the two bonds. So you know one thing, Macaulay's duration is summation of n into PV divided by intrinsic value. Both the calculations for each of the two bonds are available. So bond A, summation of n into PV was 3920.82 and intrinsic value of that bond was 912.52. The duration of bond A comes to 4.2967 years, and then similarly for bond B it comes to 4.1611 years. Once we get the duration of these two bonds, their weighted average will give you the duration of the bond portfolio. But before we do those calculations, write up what you find on screen and then we move ahead. Alright friends, let us move ahead and compute the duration of the bond portfolio. We know one thing, that duration of bond portfolio will be the weighted average of duration of each of the two bonds. So by equation, DP stands for the duration of portfolio, DA and DB are the duration of the respective two bonds A and B, and this VA upon VP is the proportion of money invested on bond A. Likewise, VB upon VP will give you the proportion of money invested in bond B. So proportion of money invested in bond A and proportion of money invested in bond B will become the weights of bond A and B respectively, and the weighted average of DA and DB will give you duration of portfolio. We have learned exactly these concepts with question number 22. This is just a similar question for you to practice. Don't forget to define all these variables, and I have already explained you may just write up the calculation, but this time take one thing into your notice, that when you calculate VA, that is the money invested in bond A, will be this 5 into its intrinsic value. So 5 into its intrinsic value will give you rupees 4562.60. So this is the total amount invested in bond A. Similarly, VB will give you total amount invested in bond B, which is 11,475. VP is the value of your portfolio, which is aggregate value of A and B, and that will be 16,037.60. This is the base for computing the weights of the two bonds A and B. So bond A will be having weight of VA upon VP. VA is 4562.60 and VP is 16,037.60. Likewise, this will be 11,475 divided by 16,037.60. Obvious thing is, weight of bond A plus weight of bond B will give you aggregate as 1. So friends, you know how to make these calculations. So just write up first the definition of all these variables, then we are going to put up all these values in the formula and arrive at the result. But first write up whatever you find on screen quickly. Alright friends, let us move ahead and write up the last part of the calculation, that is duration of bond portfolio. We are simply putting all those values defined earlier into the duration of portfolio formula, and when you make these calculations, what you get is 4.1997 years. So note down this also, and that will be end of the solution. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and discuss the next concept, that is immunization of bonds. Now let us first understand what is this whole concept of immunization. Now friends, investment in bonds cannot be completely considered risk free, because there will be fluctuations of interest rate in the bond market. If you can recall, in the earlier classes we have learned concept of sensitivity and volatility, which were indicators of risk involved in the bond investment. So because of the interest rate fluctuation, the value of the bond is never going to be stable. The value of bond will also fluctuate. If we want to minimize this risk, we need to create a bond portfolio, and through creation of that bond portfolio we can aim at immunization. The word immunization means making your investment immune to fluctuations in the market interest rates. If you would want to immunize your investment, the one thing that you have to do is to create a bond portfolio. A single bond cannot achieve the process of immunization. So friends, what I will do is I will explain you the entire process of immunization through calculative examples. Very good calculative examples are coming up, and I want you to go slowly with this concept if at all you are learning it for the first time. But it's a beautiful concept, and in examination also it carries good weightage. So let us do one thing. Let me draw your attention over here on the screen, and what you will do is first write down the notes and then we follow up with the calculative examples. For your reference, I would just expand the screen size and you can start taking the notes now. Investment in bonds cannot be considered completely risk-free. Immunization of bond is a process of creating a bond portfolio through which the interest rate risk and the reinvestment risk can either be eliminated or minimized. Note, immunization cannot be achieved through single bond, and creating a bond portfolio is necessary for immunization. So friends, as I have been instructing you earlier, you may pause the video, note down this whole thing, and then we move ahead with the calculative examples. So write it quickly and then I take you ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and now take up a calculative example given under question number 24. Let us read this question. A company requires to immunize its bond portfolio for a target period of 3 years. For this purpose, the company has decided to invest rupees 10 lakhs at present and has identified two bonds A and B. Now let us see the particulars of these two bonds. Their face values given, their market price given, and their duration given. You are required to determine the following: amount of money to be invested in each of the two bonds and number of units of each bond to be purchased. So friends, let us first identify the process of immunization. Your immunization process begins with the target period of investment, which in this example is given as 3 years. How much money you want after 3 years, that is not given. Directly the present value of investment is given, correct? Sometimes they may give you not the present value directly, they may give you the amount that you require after 3 years, and then you will have to invest into present value. So take precaution when you are dealing with a question of immunization. In this case, the company has decided to invest rupees 10 lakh at present. That means the amount to be invested is already determined. So no present value calculation is required over here. Now your target period is 3 years for creating immunization process, you need at least 2 bonds. We definitely have 2 bonds. The condition now is one bond should have duration less than the target period of 3 years. So yes, bond B definitely has its duration which is 2 years, which is less than the target period of 3 years. On the other side, bond A has its duration longer than the target period of 3 years, its duration is 5 years. So bond A and bond B are fitting into the criteria. Last thing that you would want to do is find the weighted average of the duration of each bonds, which will be the duration of portfolio, and the duration of portfolio should match with the target period of 3 years. And this is how you will immunize the bond portfolio. So let us see how to present the solution. In the solution, the very first step will be to identify the target period of investment. We have already discussed it is 3 years. Step 2 will be identifying bonds for constructing a bond portfolio such that one bond should have its duration less than the target period and at least one bond should have its duration greater than the target period. So we want the 2 bonds in such a way that at least one bond should have its duration less than 3 years, another bond should have its duration longer than 3 years, and we get that criteria fulfilled when we talk about bond A and bond B in the given case. Step 3 will be determining optimum weights, and we have to determine the optimum weights in such a way that the duration of bond portfolio should match with the target period mentioned in step 1, that is, it should match with 3 years. So friends, do one thing, write up this whole thing and then I show you how to determine those optimum weights. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Let us move ahead and determine the optimum weights of the 2 bonds. For that, what we will do is we will assume the 2 bond weights as WA and WB. So what we write is let WA and WB be the weights of bond A and bond B respectively. Now what we know already is the aggregate of the 2 weights will be always 1, correct? Because there are only 2 bonds in the portfolio, both taken together will be weighing to 1. That means the total investment will be 1. So WB will be 1 minus WA. Quickly note down these 3 lines also and then we move ahead. Alright friends, after writing up this much, you now have a need to determine the value of WA and WB, and for that you need an equation other than the equation what you find on screen, correct? This is one equation through which you have derived WB equals to 1 minus WA, but because there are 2 missing variables, you need one more equation. The other equation obviously is the equation of duration of portfolio. So what we do now is, what we have learnt in terms of duration of portfolio in the earlier class, we write that equation. dP will be dA into WA plus dB into WB. Let me first define these variables. dA and dB are the durations of the individual bonds, that is duration of bond A and duration of bond B. Now WA and WB are the weights of investment in bond A and bond B, and now the weighted average of this must match with the duration of portfolio, and such duration of portfolio should be matching with your target period of investment, that is 3 years. So whatever values we have, we will replace or we will substitute those values. So what we do is, for duration of portfolio we have kept the target period of 3 years, dA is substituted for 5 years, dB substituted for 2 years, weight of A as it is and weight of B has been kept as 1 minus WA. So now we have a single equation with only one variable, that is WA. Solving this equation, we can easily find the value of WA. So what we get is WA equals to 1 by 3, and once you get the value of WA, you can determine WB easily. So quickly take note of this whole thing and then we move ahead. Alright friends, after writing this, let us move ahead and determine the value of WB. So we have already written WB is 1 minus WA, so that will be 1 minus 1 by 3, that will be 2 by 3. So finally we come to know that what is the total amount to be invested in bond A and bond B. So in bond A, the total amount to be invested will be 1/3 of the present value of investment. In our given example, rupees 10 lakh is the present value of the investment, correct? So present value of investment, 1/3 of that you have to invest in bond A, and in bond B it will be 2/3 of the present value of bond, so that will be 6,66,667 in bond B and 3,33,333 in bond A. Keep note of one thing very well, that 1 by 3 and 2 by 3, which are weights of bond A and B, must necessarily be multiplied to the present value of investment, which in our case is 10 lakhs. So note down this whole thing and then we shall move ahead. Alright friends, after computing how much money you have to invest in each of the two bonds, we also know the current market price of both the bonds, through which we can easily identify how many units of each bonds we need to buy. So the total value of investment will be divided by the market price of each unit of bond, and we get 338 units of bond A to be purchased, and likewise for bond B it will be 644 units. So note down this also, and that will be end of the solution. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. That was end of that question. Let us move ahead and solve another similar question, that is question number 25. Let us read this question. A company is willing to create a bond portfolio with 3 bonds A, B and C. The objective is to make the bond portfolio immune for a target period of 4 years. The duration of the 3 bonds A, B and C are 2 years, 4 years and 5 years respectively. The company has decided to invest rupees 4 lakh out of rupees 10 lakh in bond B. You are required to determine the amount to be invested in bond A and bond C in order to immunize the portfolio for 4 years. So now friends, what is something different in this question, that you have 3 bonds to be included in the portfolio. Other things as usual, what you just need to do is find the weights of bond A and C, because weight of bond B you can identify directly with the information given in the question. So what we do is, we identify what is the total amount to be invested today. Total amount to be invested today is 10 lakhs, out of which you have already decided to invest 4 lakhs in bond B. So remaining 6 lakhs you have to invest in bond A and bond C taken together. So let us see how to present the solution. So as usual, our first step will be to identify the target period of investment, and that will be 4 years. At least one bond should have duration lower than 4 years, one bond should have duration longer than 4 years, and we definitely find that with case of these 3 bonds A, B and C. That means there is no problem creating a portfolio of these 3 bonds which will fulfill our objectives. Third step will be to determine the optimum weights, and we have to do this in such a way that the duration of portfolio should match with the target period of 4 years. So friends, do one thing, write up this whole thing and then we move ahead and compute optimum weights. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Now let us deal with the weights of the 3 bonds. So we would say, let WA, WB and WC be the weights of bond A, B and C respectively. Aggregate of the weights of the 3 bonds this time will be 1. However, we already know the weight of bond B, and that is 0.4. How it is 0.4? The investor has decided to invest 4 lakh out of 10 lakh in bond B. That will give the weight of 0.4. So So what we can do is put the value of 0.4 in place of WB and see what we get. WA plus WC will be 1 minus weight of WB, that is 1 minus 0.4, and that will be 0.6. So WC can be written as 0.6 minus WA. So friends, do one thing, write up all this and then we move ahead. Alright friends, after writing up this much, now we have a target to find the value of WA and WC, which is going to be very simple because we know the equation. Duration of bond portfolio will be weighted average of duration of each bond. So DP is the duration of portfolio, DA, DB and DC are the durations of individual bonds, WA, WB and WC are the weights of each of these three bonds. Duration of portfolio will be matching with the target period of 4 years. So we are going to replace DP by 4 years. DA, DB and DC value given in the question. WB is 0.4 and we know one thing, WA can be written as it is and WC we have already found as 0.6 minus WA. So let us substitute all these values over here and let us solve this equation to find the value of WA. When you finally solve this, you find WA value as 0.6 divided by 3, that will be 0.2, and WC will be 0.6 minus WA, so it will be 0.6 minus 0.2 and that will give you 0.4. So friends, do one thing, write up this whole thing and then we move ahead. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. Now let us determine the amount to be invested in bond A and bond C. So knowing the weights and knowing the present value of the total investment, you can easily trace that 0.2 of total investment, that is 2 lakh, will be invested in bond A and 0.4 of total investment, that is 4 lakh, will be invested in bond C. So write up these two lines as well and that will be end of the solution. Alright friends, you would have finished writing this whole thing. So I am sure you have understood all these points and you have understood all the calculation and the process of immunization. A very important concept. So time for us to declare this as end of the session. So that would be end of this part 4. Thank you so much for attending the class.